Welcome everybody to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the release of the action drama Force of Nature hitting store shelves along with the 7th season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And Scream Factory is releasing a Blu-ray edition of the 1977 PG horror cult classic Orca, the Killer Whale, plus much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we're at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart here, and they actually have new stuff over here. I'm actually really shocked, guys, no lie. They have the Force of Nature, the Blu-ray and digital for $14.96. They also have the DVD over here for $12.96. Here's all. It's actually really cool that they actually got some new stuff in this week, because I thought with some of like the indie stuff coming out and not a lot of big releases, I thought we weren't going to see anything, but shocker of a lifetime, man. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and you know, I watched the trailer and I was interested in the movie. It kind of reminded me of other sort of like caught in the rain, storm type of heist movies, or sort of criminals on the run type of flicks. And I wanted to give it a chance, and I wanted to give it a chance primarily also for Mel Gibson, but it's got a great cast. Emile Hirsch, Kate Bosworth, not bad, man. And so after watching it, I have to admit that the movie's not bad. It's not great either. It's kind of like right in the middle, man. I mean, it's basically about this hurricane that's coming, and this disgraced cop and his new partner have to go and sort of clear out all of these people, and you know, the residents of the community, people who don't want to leave, they got to get them out. And all the while, there's these sort of thieves that are coming to this sort of residential area to try to steal something of value. I kind of won't say exactly what it is, but it's sort of them versus the thieves and this sort of cat and mouse game type of thing. It's not a bad movie. I think the action is pretty decent here. I like the characters. Some of them are likable. Some of them are utter scumbags. They're not terrible. The plot is pretty good here. Special effects with the storm and everything is not half bad either. The problem is you could tell that this was a really lower budget movie, that they didn't have the type of money that they really could have done to really make this even more spectacular than it is. It's a good little action flick for what it is, but it's not one of those movies that's really going to wow you, unfortunately, guys. It's not a movie that's, I say you have to go out of your way to watch, but it's not terrible either. I mean, I think Emile Hirsch does a really good job here. Kate Bosworth, who I'm honestly usually not a fan of Kate Bosworth. Usually I'm kind of very iffy on her. She does a good job here, and even Mel Gibson does. Now, here's the thing, guys. Mel Gibson in this movie, he has a very small role. He's sort of featured big and large right on the cover here, but he actually has a really small role, like smaller than Emile Hirsch, smaller than Kate Bosworth. Not a big role at all, man. So go in knowing that Mel has a sort of smaller, sort of, not a cameo role, but definitely more like a side actor type of role than anything else, man. The storm stuff is cool, the gunplay is cool, but the movie didn't wow me at the same time. So it's kind of, it's a good sort of hour and a half time waster, but do you have to go out of your way to watch it if you like these type of flicks? Not necessarily, but it's still a fun film though. I still enjoyed it though, man. Not bad. When the perfect crime meets the perfect storm. Right there. Not bad, man. Like I said, decent, not great, middle tier. Then over here, I'm seeing one other thing, and I gotta show it off because this looks so weird, dude. 4 Kids and It. It says the DVD for $14.96 and the Blu-ray digital for $14.96, but that's got to be kind of wrong here. So I'm assuming that this one is a little bit more money. This is like $12.96 or something, but whatever. But I just had to show this off, and the reason I had to is like, look at this thing, man. This looks so weird to me. So this is based on the best-selling novel For Children and It. I've never heard of the novel, but look at this cover, man. What in the literal fuck is that thing? What the fuck is that? Be careful what you wish for. Yeah, no shit. Look at that. Mother of God, man. What the hell? Whoa. God, it's even weirder on the back cover. Fuck. A great movie for the whole family to enjoy. Oh, the Dove Foundation. Speaking of which, of course, it's a Dove-approved movie, yes. We had to find at least one on these out and about adventures, and we did, man. Not bad, dude. Not bad at all. What in the hell, though? Man, that would give kids nightmares, man. I don't know if this is like the perfect family movie or not. Shit. It's a holiday for you. A fluffy-eared creature that grants their wishes. The kids adventures. I guess enjoy this with the family. This is so weird, man. God, dude, and it's got like Paula Patton in it, Matthew Good, Russell Brand, and Michael Caine. Michael Caine signed up for this shit. Michael Caine is in like Christopher Nolan movies and shit, and he like takes 4 kids in it. You can't tell me that motherfucker needed the paycheck. You cannot tell me he did, dude. No way. You dare tell me that, dude. Oh my God. What the fuck? Dude, like there's old school kids movies that are really weird, but I enjoyed them back in the day. Like if you guys remember a movie like Mac and Me, like Mac and Me, for some reason I still love Mac and Me, but that is a weird fucking movie, and maybe this is kind of like that. It's a movie that like you watch and you're like, I don't, like, what the fuck is this? But it's like oddly fascinating, something like that, dude. Good lord, man. Damn. And people like Russell Brand, whatever happened to Russell Brand, dude? Like I remember back in the day, like he was doing like that, like Sarah Marshall stuff and Get Him to the Greek and all that stuff, and that wasn't half bad. And then he did like that Arthur remake, and it went right down the shitter, and he hadn't done anything since. Well, till 4 Kids and It. What the fuck, man? That is so impossibly weird. I'll say this much, it's a curiosity, dude, because it looks weird as shit. And for me, back in the day, watching some weird stuff like Mac and Me and whatnot, maybe it's worth at least a watch. Just how weird it is, man. Yo, if you guys know anything about 4 Kids in It, definitely let me know. So odd, dude. Really, really odd, man. Yikes. Other than that, not half bad. 2 releases, but I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting much here at all, so pleasantly surprised indeed. Alright, let's see if they got anything else to check out. And we're over in this section, guys, and this I showed you a week ago or so, and they had these DVDs for like $3.96, $2.96, around there, and it seems like they've actually filled it up a little bit more, and I kind of wanted to show some of it off. They have Ghost in the Shell for $2.96. Now, I actually haven't gotten a chance to watch this yet. I've always been meaning to watch it, but I never get around to watching Ghost in the Shell. Some people say it's really good, and other people say it's a piece of crap. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this one. I know there was a lot of controversy about this one because of Scarlett Johansson and sort of the whole like whitewashing thing. I've never really seen much of the Ghost in the Shell like universe world anime stuff, so for this I would definitely be interested in checking it out, but definitely let me know about this one. I've always been meaning to watch it. I love Scarlett Johansson though. They also have the Star Trek reboot right here, not half bad. This actually, honestly, you know, I know a lot of people look at this Star Trek movie and say, well, it's not really Star Trek, it's just action Star Trek, and it's just kind of action fluff. But I really like this Star Trek movie, man. I remember the first time watching it, that huge like opening sequence. I was on the edge of my seat. I love that so much. And Star Trek, this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the very first Blu-ray that I ever bought was of this movie. Because I remember my friend John showing me the opening sequence on Blu-ray, and I was so stunned by it that I had to get into Blu-ray, man. So this, I owe a lot to this film, man. Really, really great flick, dude. Love that one. Star Trek Into Darkness, man. See, this one I don't really like. This one sort of took a big shit on Star Trek. It really did. And not to say that it's a terrible movie or anything, but like, I really wish they would never have done Khan, man. I wish they would have done something different. Why did they have to do the Khan stuff? And I thought the storyline, and Benedict Cumberbatch, he's a great actor, man, but he couldn't pull off Khan. And there was so many really great opportunities after the first Star Trek reboot that they could have went anywhere. And to do like a retread, I thought they could have done way better, man. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Definitely let me know what you think of that one. The Mission Impossible ones, though, like the Ghost Protocol one, I have to admit, I really love all of the Mission Impossible movies. I really do. Well, to a certain degree or another, I do. And I think Tom Cruise is actually really great in this franchise, man. He really is fantastic here, man. And I think every film has gotten better. And I don't know if you could say that about many franchises. That actually, this is a franchise that actually over time has gotten better with each installment. I think Tom Cruise has gotten better, and even though he's aging, I mean, the guy still does his own crazy stunts. He's hanging off of helicopters. He's like running around like at like 20 miles an hour or some shit. Like, man, I'd break my fucking leg doing that shit. But God bless Tom Cruise, man. It's a great franchise, dude. I love that shit. They also have, they have Rings for $2.96. Now I got to admit, guys, I've seen Rings, and Rings is, dude, it's garbage, man. I actually did a Netflix Nights long time back on Rings. Go back and definitely check out my thoughts on this. But I got to admit, guys, this is, the first Ring, the remake is really great. I love that movie. And Ring 2, I don't like it, but take it or leave it. But Rings just felt like this franchise is so dead. And it really felt like they were just beating a dead horse, man. It was really a rough watch, man. It's unfortunate because I think they could have done really good with it. I think the Japanese ones are definitely better than the American versions. I feel like they just take a concept and they just beat it to death here in America. Not like they don't do it overseas either, but I think they do a better job, actually. Yeah, Rings is really terrible. Yeah. And they also have the Fighter, which is really good as well, man. And the Fighter is actually a great flick. I saw this in the movie theater with Bob. Now, the interesting thing with this, actually a funny story, I'll kind of tell you guys real quick, is that when Bob and I saw the Fighter in the theater, there was like these two big burly guys that were sitting a couple of rows in front of us, and they were just like talking like crazy. And we kind of told them, hey, do you mind kind of being a little bit quiet? We're trying to watch the movie. And one of the guys, swear to God, he turned around and he told me to shut the fuck up. He said shut the fuck up. And then I ended up, me being the thinking I'm a tough guy angle, I ended up saying, well, why don't you shut the fuck up? And then the guy gets up, gets right in my face, smacks me in the face, no lies, smacks me in the face. I'm bleeding. I tell Bob, we have to go talk to the theater manager, you name it. Eventually, the guy gets taken by the cops and everything, but it's like, I had so many people tell me, like, Seth, that guy could have had a fucking knife, that guy could have had a gun, you have no idea, man, don't fuck with people. And it's like, I'll always remember the fighter for, like, that one time that I got smacked in the face at the movie theater. Like, good lord, man. Well, it was called The Fighter for a reason. I probably should have realized that. Stupid me. They also have the Rugrats movie as well, this is a really fun flick. I really like this flick a lot. And this is coming from somebody, I actually used to watch the Rugrats back in the day when I was a kid. I used to watch that stuff a lot, and I had a ball watching Rugrats. It was really fun, man. It really was, dude. This was a good movie. I did enjoy it. I don't watch Rugrats anymore or anything, but I think Rugrats is a great, like, kids show, dude. It's awesome, man. I like that. That's a really fun flick. Then over here I'm seeing they have Anchorman and Anchorman 2. Now, I've told you guys I haven't always been the biggest fan of Will Ferrell. Not that he's a terrible, terrible actor, just I don't really like his comedy. But I will admit this, I think the first Anchorman is not bad. I think it's got some fun moments to it. I like the Ron Burgundy character. I think he does a good job with it. It's not half bad. You know, I don't love the movie, but it's decent. Whereas I remember getting a copy from a friend to watch Anchorman 2, and I thought it was a really lackluster sequel. I thought, God, like, they could have done so much better with the movie, and they didn't really. Compared to, like, the first one, they really whiffed on Anchorman 2, unfortunately. I just don't think the jokes are as funny. I don't think the story's as good. It was kind of like, oh, the first one made a lot of money, so why not do a sequel? But it was just rehashing jokes, and yeah, it didn't work for me, man. Like, the Anchorman is not bad, but Anchorman 2, not so good on that one. I'm also seeing they have The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg. Now, this one is $2.96. Now, I have to admit, I saw this one in the movie theater with my mother, and she wanted to see it because of Goodman, because she likes John Goodman. It's not a terrible movie. I kind of like The Gambler. It's not as good as the original. The reason to watch this is John Goodman. No lie, because John Goodman is fantastic in the movie. He's great. He's really menacing, and he does a great job here. Mark Wahlberg is okay. Brie Larson in this is just okay. Like I said, it's not a terrible movie, but I honestly think it could have been a little bit more exciting for my taste. But again, the reason to watch this is Goodman, man. Goodman is fantastic in this flick. He's great in there. Then they also have The Naked Gun. Great. The Naked Gun. The first original Naked Gun, of course. Fantastic. Now, okay, so I love all of the Naked Guns, right? But I think my favorite is Naked Gun 33 1/3. I like the humor more in that one, but I think all of the Naked Guns are really funny. I like sort of the spoof angle of it. I think Leslie Nielsen is funny as shit in these movies, man. I think they just got progressively better, though. I think they did. As he got older and, you know, they were sort of doing better improv and getting some really crazy, wacky actors in there. But I think the first Naked Gun is still fantastic, though. I still really love that flick a lot, man. Leslie Nielsen, so good, man. And he used to be a serious actor, and then he got into the whole, like, comedy thing, and that's when he really broke big. Really great movie. They also have Dirty Dancing here as well. Great flick. I don't have to tell you guys about that one. That's an awesome one. And the other really major thing I'm seeing here, they also have Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit as well. Sort of the newer one that came out like a couple years ago. Now, I have to admit, I don't really love this Jack Ryan movie. It's not a terrible flick. Some of the action here is pretty decent overall, but to be fair with you guys, I think other Jack Ryan movies are better. Hunt for Red October. I think the Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck is really good. I think the stuff with Harrison Ford. But you know what? I think the new series with John Krasinski is really fantastic on Amazon Prime. Like that's a really great adaptation of Jack Ryan. This one kind of, I don't want to say that. See, I don't want to say that Chris Pine is like a pretty boy and that I don't buy him in the role, but I kind of almost think that. Like I look at him and I'm like, oh, of course he's not going to get beat up very badly, and of course he's not going to, because he's Chris Pine. Like, I think since series like Bourne has sort of reinvented the genre, I think you need these rough action people. I think people like Daniel Craig and everything that really are convincing. I don't buy Chris Pine a lot of times in a row. Like as Kirk, I really buy him, but as Jack Ryan, not so much, man. Just my opinion on that one, though. But they also got some of the standard stuff. They've got the First Blood Part 2 that I showed, Saw, Black Klansman, some of the other stuff we saw before, but definitely some more stuff that they put on the shelves. Not bad. For $2.96, $3.96, if you don't own any of them, actually it's not a bad price, man. Definitely worth it to check out. Not bad on this one, guys. Not a bad trip overall. Let's head out. So no lie, guys, I'm walking into this Walmart thinking to myself, oh God, it's going to be another one of those weeks where I'm literally not going to find anything at this store. Like, there's not going to be any new things to talk about, or they're barely stocked the shelves. I'm like, oh Lord. And thankfully, I was pleasantly surprised this time around, guys. I mean, considering that there's not a huge, gigantic release this week, they did pretty well. They had The Force of Nature. They had that really weird fucking kids movie. They had some interesting new DVD stock as well. So actually, you know what? I'll take it, guys, because literally every single week is like a gamble with this place. I don't know whether we're gonna find a lot of stock or nothing at all. Like literally, I go in there every week and it's literally an absolute gamble. And this is one of those weeks where I was pleasantly surprised, and in a great way. And so hopefully, maybe this is a bounce back for physical media. Maybe this is a sign that things will start to look up. Let's hope, guys. Let's cross our fingers on that one. But hey, for a week like this, so some media out, I'll definitely take it. Not half bad, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. I was really surprised on this one. Let's head to the next location and see what we can find. All right, everybody. We are at our second location, Target. Now, before I go in, I was really just thinking about this for a second, because this is a very interesting time right now for movie lovers in general. And I say that because a lot of places are opening up, but then we're seeing spikes in the cases. Places are reclosing up again, and we keep on getting this flip-flop of maybe it's going to open up this week, maybe it's going to be held back, whatnot, right? Because I was talking to the guys recently, and we're sort of doing a video soon that will be up, in July at some point. And I was talking to each of the guys, and I was saying, okay, we're going to be going to this in July to the movie theater, and this in August. And I was kind of starting to map out a schedule of what we were going to do. And then that's suddenly changed. That suddenly went completely in the crapper. Because it's like, oh, the stuff that we were planning on in July, well, that got moved to August. And now I don't even know if the stuff in August is even going to stay where it is. Is that going to move? This is really turning into a big clusterfuck. And I get it. I understand why. Because how are we going to be safe while doing it? But at the same time, you don't know what's going to happen until you do it. I guess that's sort of my whole thing as well, because you have to just as long as you can have some sort of plan that says, okay, every other seat we're going to do this, or if there's a group of people together, they're going to sit together, and then we sort of separate everybody out. There's got to be a way of the cleaning and everything to give a certain sense of, like, back to normalcy that we do need at this point. And also as movie lovers, let's also remember this, man. I mean, the summer movie season is pretty much a wash at this point. I mean, yes, it's only June, we're heading into July, but dude, there's nothing, man. I mean, come on. May was a prime month, nothing, obviously. June, nothing. July, pretty much nothing. So, at this point, just call the summer movie season a wash at this point, man. Just, it's done. At the same time, as physical media lovers, look, we want these movies to come out in the theater, so eventually we have a chance to own them on disc. And what is kind of good, and I kind of saw the upcoming sort of schedule for Blu-ray and DVD and 4K in July and August, and it's actually getting a little bit better. There seems to be a little bit of an uptick coming back up, and some cool, interesting things coming out. Great, awesome. But all of that can go away in a heartbeat if the movie theaters aren't back open and putting out products, so eventually that product can get on disc. Unless we just put the movies on disc and say, fuck it, we're just not going to the theater and we're just going to take a gamble on disc. But I highly doubt that movie theaters are going to take a gamble at doing that, man. Like, they're just going to say, oh yeah, let's not put out Wonder Woman 1984, or let's not put out A Quiet Place Part 2, or, fuck it, the next, Fast and Furious movie we're just going to put on fucking disc. Like, at a certain point, there's gonna be a moment where push comes to shove, something has to happen. Like, either movie theaters are gonna open up and we're finally gonna get back to the theater, or these studios have to say, we're just gonna put the movie out. Because how much longer can you hold this stuff until at some point you need to make a profit? You need to put this stuff out there, and you're continuing to produce more movies and the release schedules, and it just at a certain point this turns into a big clusterfuck. It honestly does, man. And so I'm curious now what's going to happen in the fall, what's going to happen with movie theaters, what's going to happen with all these movies that have been pushed back as far as they possibly could to the fall and winter time. Are movie theaters going to be safe to open back up? Is there going to be another spike? Are they going to close back down? What's going to happen with physical media? Are we just going to say fuck it and put these movies out on disc? I'm very curious as to what you guys think, man. It just sort of popped in my head that we're getting a little bit better on disc in these next month or two, but to continue getting good physical media, the turnover ratio of movies in theaters and then getting them on disc, we need those theaters open. So there's a give and take, unless, again, we just say screw it and we're just going to put the stuff out. So I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm curious as to what your guys' thoughts are. Definitely let me know. In the meantime, well, look, I was surprised by Walmart, man. I was not expecting anything at Walmart this week. Could we see something at Target? Well, look, it's possible. But Target's been really rough these past few weeks, man. So I'm not expecting much, but hey, I'm up for a pleasant surprise anytime. So let's hope we can see that here. Let's head in, check it out. All right, guys, we are in at Target, and do I really need to say it yet again? Yeah, there is no new media out this week whatsoever. Yep. Besides, nothing at all. Oh, they do have that Fast and Furious Steelbook I showed you about. Oh, that's the hot ticket item of the week, baby. Whoa. They got that. They got the regular Hangover Steelbooks, The Batman Begins, Dark Knight. Same old stuff they've been having. Same stuff on the TV area. Nothing's changed whatsoever. Then over here as well, Stranger Things, Knives Out, Jumanji, It, the same friggin' stuff. They still have a lot of these, like, Stranger Things Season 1 Collector's Editions. Does anybody know exactly when the Season 3 Collector's Edition stuff is going to come out? Because I've heard nothing about that. I'm kind of hoping sometime soon, because I'd definitely pick it up. I hope they're doing another Target exclusive eventually, but, well, I don't know whether they actually are, but, I hope so. But, yeah, guys, same stuff over in that section, same stuff over there. I hate to say it, guys, but, well, this place is a wash, yet again. Hey, I tried. Let's head out. So, look, guys, I had a small glimmer of hope, just a little bit of glimmer of hope from seeing a couple of those releases over at Walmart and thinking, well, geez, if the not so great Walmart that we usually go to has some of the releases out, well, by golly, Target's got to have something too. Unfortunately not, guys. And by the way, this is not the only Target that I went to. I actually went to another Target as well before I went to this one, just to see maybe if they had something. And no, they didn't have anything either. So, unfortunately, this is a wash here in a big bad way. I hate to say it, but yeah, I was just hoping maybe they would even have that weird sort of alien, like, creature family movie that Walmart has. I was even hoping, like, okay, family friendly, why not? They have it here. I don't know. I think we will see stuff next week, but that's only because Trolls World Tour is coming out. But if that wasn't coming out, I think next week would be a wash as well. Honestly, out of all the places, Target has definitely been, like, the most hard hit by not as much physical media. I mean, there's some sales, but for the most part, it's been bone-ass dry, man. Well, let's hope that changes soon as well. But, well, not much to see here. Hate to say it. Yet another week of disappointing Target. But, something we're getting used to. Alright, let's see what else we can find. Alright, everybody, we are at our third location, the second Walmart. We're gonna go in and we're gonna see if we can find anything new and interesting. We'll see what we find here. In the meantime, I want to talk about a movie trailer with you guys, and it is for a little bit of R-E-S-P-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T. Yes, we're talking about respect. Yes, I know my singing is really terrible, guys, and thank you for putting up with it. So, this trailer just came out not too long ago, and I wanted to talk about it because I really do enjoy biopics. I think biopics can be really, really good if they're done well. Now, the problem with biopics, obviously, is that you only have, let's say, 2 hours or 2.5 hours to tell an entire person's life. That's really difficult. Sometimes they can pull it off, sometimes they can't. And with Aretha Franklin, there is so much to really talk about with her as a person, her accomplishments, her struggles. And the trailer goes out of its way to talk about some of that, the early life and, you know, the issues that she had with producers and making music and making #1 hits. And I don't know how far the movie's going to dive into her life, but I am interested in the movie. I like the trailer. There's some really great, interesting stars here. I believe you have Marlon Wayans here, if I'm not mistaken. You also have Forrest Whitaker and Jennifer Hudson, who is playing Aretha Franklin. Now, see, I like Jennifer Hudson. I don't hate her. I liked her in Dreamgirls. She won the Oscar. And then after Dreamgirls, you really didn't see her do a lot of stuff. She was in, like, Sex and the City, the movie, and she did a couple other things, but she really kind of vanished off the map until this movie here, where she's now again front and center. I hope she does a good job. Like I said, I think you needed somebody in this role who is a very strong singer, somebody who has good vocal range to portray Aretha and her singing ability. But you also need somebody who is going to be a very good actress that is going to portray the difficulties and the hardships that this woman had to deal with. Jennifer Hudson has the music stuff down pat. We know this. And I think she's a decent actress. Will she pull off Aretha Franklin? We'll just have to find out. But again, I think musical biopics can be really good, whether we're talking about Walk the Line and a lot of other ones. I think Bohemian Rhapsody is a really good one as well. There's a lot of really great ones. The Doors. There's really good musical biopics out there. And then there's a lot of like really bad ones. Look, I want this movie to be really good because I think Aretha is a fantastic singer. She has an amazing story. I want it to be told in the best way humanly possible. So, for me, I'm just hoping beyond hope that this thing is going to be good, man. I really do. Not only for Jennifer Hudson's sake, but also for Aretha Franklin's story, to be honest with you. So, let's hope. I mean, this movie, by the way, is definitely Oscar bait. I mean, it's Oscar bait in a big bad way. You look at the trailer, they are selling this movie as Oscar bait, which, hey, you know, I mean, right now, there's not many movies out that are really contenders for any sort of Oscar. I mean, I guess Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, really? So, I mean, they got to prop some of these Oscar-nominated movies up, man, because shit, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog winning Best Picture, really? It's like shit. There ain't much out for the Academy to choose from, so they better start putting product out, man. Shit, but this has the potential to be, you know, Oscar nominated and be a winner if it's done well, and I hope it is, guys. So definitely let me know what you think. In the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart and hopefully, hope we can find some good stuff. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart here, and the first thing I'm seeing is, no, not the, get away, damn it, get away, jeez. I'm also seeing over here they have a Force of Nature for $12.96 and $14.96. Now, I wanted to say a couple more words about this. One thing I wanted to say is that the movie actually reminds me of a couple flicks that I really love that sort of have this same feel of sort of a storm, downpour, and stealing like valuables and money. Like, I was thinking of like Hurricane Heist, that movie that came out like a couple years ago. Hurricane Heist is a really great flick. I love that movie, man. Really fun. And the other one I was thinking of is Hard Rain with Christian Slater and Morgan Freeman. That's a really great one, man, where there's like, it's a completely like, I think it's like a really bad like storm or hurricane, and I love what they do with the water. Like, the whole town has literally been like submerged, and it's kind of like them on like jet skis and boats, and like Christian Slater versus Morgan Freeman, and he's trying to steal the money, and Christian Slater is trying to hide it from him, and it's this cat and mouse game. Like, Hard Rain is really good, man. I really like Hard Rain quite a bit. It's a really great one. And this kind of reminded me of Hard Rain, but Hard Rain is a better movie, I think. This is still a good film, and there's a lot of potential in the movie, but I don't think that they mined the movie for all the potential that it could have been. It could have been like a Hard Rain or a Hurricane Heist, but it just didn't quite. I don't know whether it had the budget or maybe they just didn't know really how to do the movie properly. But there's some good things here, but it doesn't quite gel together. But it's still a really interesting flick to definitely give a chance to, man. It's not bad. And then the only other thing I'm seeing over here is they have the DVD of Evil Season 1 for $29.96 from the creators of The Good Wife. What? Well, then it must be truly evil then, shouldn't it? Gee. I like the cover, though. They're kind of separated, and there's that creepy hand on the couch. That's really cool, actually. What is this about? Where does science and the supernatural begin? That's a mysterious and dangerous line explored by skeptical psychologists. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so it's kind of like... So it's kind of like the occult version of the X-Files. Kind of. Like a skeptic and like a priest, and they're exploring these cases of the unexplained and the occult and everything. That could be cool, actually. I really love the X-Files, and I really love stuff like Fringe and exploring science and aliens and mysteries that can't be easily explained away. I like that type of stuff. There hasn't really been a show like that in a long while. Evil, that seems to be cool. It brings in the horror aspect with the occult and also the religious angle as well. This could be a really cool show, man. I gotta look into this. It kind of sounds interesting to me. I miss out on a lot of TV, so this one actually might be one I gotta give a chance to. Definitely let me know what you think of Evil Season 1. Doesn't look half bad, man. That looks pretty cool. Well, Evil, Force of Nature, and... God, get away, damn it. Interesting. Let's see what else they got. And we are over on this side, guys, and look, it definitely seems like they've been restocking in a big bad way. Not half bad, man. Looks like there's quite a few things to show off. And the first thing I'm seeing over here is they have the 4K Ultra HD digital of Tom Cruise's Days of Thunder for 1996. Very nice. We finally get to see this in the stores, man. This is the first time we're actually ever seeing it. We saw the 4K of Top Gun, and I know they've released a couple more Tom Cruise's ones, including Days of Thunder, but we haven't been able to see it in any of the stores, at least until now. Thank God, finally get to see it, man. Now, it has been a really long time since I have seen this movie, no lie, man. But I remember really loving this movie, and to me, especially when I watched it a long time back, it definitely made an impression on me, and it's honestly one of the best sort of racing movies, at least I think so, in a long while. There's not many movies that can really contend with it. I really like the story. I like the acting here. I think Tom Cruise is really great in the lead here. Nicole Kidman is really good here as well, and so is Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall is really great in here. A really great sort of match for Tom Cruise. I think the racing scenes are really well done. I like the dramatic action here. It's actually not bad, dude. And a lot of people, honestly, they don't... I shouldn't say they don't, but, you know, when most people talk about Tom Cruise, they don't really talk about Days of Thunder. Like, yes, they'll talk about Top Gun and, you know, a few other movies, obviously, that are very popular, but Days of Thunder is not one that immediately, like, I think comes to people's minds. But it's a really well done movie, and it's also a Jerry Bruckheimer production. And Jerry Bruckheimer, man, he's done a lot of Michael Bay flicks and the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. That guy knows action up the ass, man. I have a feeling that Paramount probably did a really good job on the 4K of this, because I doubt they would put this out if they didn't do a good job on it. Again, not every movie from back in the day, like the 80s, is good on 4K. Some are a lot worse, but I think if Paramount is going to do it, I think they're hopefully going to do it right. You know what I'm saying, man? Unfortunately, there's not much special features here. Filmmaker focus and isolated score, so not a ton to really dive into for this movie, but Days of Thunder is not exactly like the most primo Tom Cruise movie. It's not the most like high profile one either, but I think it's a really solid Tom Cruise flick, a really solid racing film. I put it up there with movies like Rush, which is really great as well. There's not a lot of really great intense racing movies. There's a lot of stuff like the Gumball Rally and the Cannonball Run stuff, which is fun, but they're not exactly intense. But this is one of the better ones. At least I think so. I don't know whether you guys would agree with me or not, but I think it's actually really good. Not bad at all. And the cover is really cool, dude. I really like sort of the neon look with like the racing theme there. Really cool, actually. I think it's not bad. Definitely let me know, but I think it's top tier cruise. Then over here, I'm seeing they have Rise of the Foot Soldier, The Heist for $12.96, and I know this is definitely a new one we haven't seen yet. The boys are back in town. Very nice. Cover looks a little generic though, and all these guys are doing their best mean mugging impressions. I don't know if I mean, some of these guys look terrifying. I don't know about the guy with like the bowl haircut. Like, I'm like, maybe the bowl haircut is supposed to intimidate me? Huh? I'm not sure about that one, guys. What was this one about? Fresh out of prison, Pat Tate has disdain to seek revenge of the man who put him away. He runs simple mission comes. The money stolen. It seems alright. It's not a bad sort of plot or anything. It kind of has a little bit of like a cheapo feel to it. I mean, it looks alright though. I guess, you know, hot babes, money, guns, fast cars. Yeah, you know the deal, guys. If you put in that, any movie's got to be a winner, right? Yeah, right. I guess it looks okay. Doesn't impress me all that much. Then over here they have the Jonestown Haunting right here. Look at that. Now this is a great cover. Look at that, man. I love that cover with all the skulls and the graves and the hands sort of reaching out. That's really great, man. The cult didn't survive, but the evil did. The Jonestown Haunting. Very nice. They were all meant to die, but she survived. What is this about? What is this here? Oh yeah. Jim Jones and the whole like cultish stuff. It doesn't look bad, honestly. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of, there's that movie from the 80s, the late 80s, called Bad Dreams. It's a really good movie of this chick that ends up being in this cult when she was younger, and she ends up getting a coma, and she sort of comes back out of the coma years after the fact, and she sort of remembers what happened, but it's like really traumatizing for her. It's really interesting. It kind of reminds me of that. It has sort of the same type of flavor, actually. It's not bad. It's interesting. Like I said, I like the cover. The cover is really cool here. Synopsis isn't bad. If they do it pretty well, it could be effective, actually. It could be kind of creepy if done well. There's a lot of these sort of cultish type of movies, so I don't know how this one would stack up, but it has potential, though. Not half bad, man. The Jonestown Haunting. And next thing I'm seeing, oh, you gotta be fucking with me, man. Ouija shark. Oh, shit. Good lord, man. Look at that cover. That is great. We're gonna need a bigger board. Oh, look at that. Now, a while back, I showed you guys, like, Ouija Geist, and I thought it couldn't get any more ridiculous. What the fuck was I thinking? Good lord, man. She's in that skimpy bikini, and that shark's like, oh, I want to eat ya. God damn it, I want to eat ya. Oh, that is awesome. Look at that. From the studio that brought you the Velocipaster and the director of Jurassic Shark. Well, you know this thing's going to be high quality, huh? Oh, shit. A group of teenage girls summon an ancient man-eating shark after messing with a spirit board that washes up on the beach, and a call specialist must enter the shark's realm to rid the world of the deadly spirit ghost once and for all. Oh boy. Oh god, what the hell, man. Good lord. What kind of ridiculous shit this is. Dude, you know what the shark kind of reminds me of the of the zombie looking shark in 48 meters down. It kind of reminds me of that, man. Oh god, this thing, shit. Dude, this thing has to be all kinds of crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top shit, man. It's probably fun, but it's cheap as all hell, dude. I mean, then again, I can't really complain. I own a movie called House Shark, for Christ's sake, so what the hell can I complain about? But, good lord, man. The cover, you know, I will say the cover looks great, though. You know, these sort of cheapo B-movie stuff, man, I tell you, sometimes they have the best fucking art, dude. I love the art, dude. The movie's probably shit, but fuck, the art is great. Damn. Then they have over here, they have Kill Mode. The battle for humanity has just begun. Nice cover as well. You know, this guy in this mech suit, it almost reminds me of like Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, like that sort of mechanical suit almost. Of course, more of a low tech one, and definitely a hell of a lot more cheaper. After a bacterium killed 31 million people, a group of rebels set out on a mission to find a cure and destroy the humanity. Oh, interesting. Not gonna lie, that actually looks... I like the synopsis to that. It doesn't look half bad. It kind of looks a little cheapo with sort of like the weapons there and everything and sort of the suits, but I gotta admit, like, sort of this post-apocalyptic, you know, almost like a Resident Evil type of thing of like taking down the company that destroyed them type of deal. Like, it looks interesting, man. It does. I like the cover and I like the synopsis, actually. It might be a little cheapo, but it has a good idea behind it. It's not half bad, man. Kill was interesting. That they've also got Operation Cicero. It's based on a true story. Cover's not half bad. It's not half bad. Well, I worked as a butler in the British Embassy in Turkey during World War II. Espionage. Really? Oh, that does look interesting, man. That looks really fascinating. And based on a true story, too. No shit. I gotta tell you, man, like World War II, those war movies really intrigue me. I've told you guys time and time again, they really do. But I love all of these sort of based on true story movies within sort of the World War II realm. Like the espionage and the spying and everything. Like, it's all like, you know, you just think of World War II sometimes as sort of just the battle part of it, but there was so much more, and it's always fascinating diving into these little sort of true stories that happened all across the entire globe. God, it really is fascinating to me. I don't know how the movie's going to be, but the idea seems really interesting. I would definitely be into this. I'm a little bit of a history buff, a little bit, so it's not that bad. It looks pretty good to me. Then they also have a Shudder original, The Marshes, right here, and look at that cover. That's really cool. Beware what lurks beneath. Oh, I like that. Look, he's like got those. The fuck are those? Those are like weird, like looking like weaponry. He's got that, and there's like a dead body hanging in the tree. Like, that's really cool, man. I like that cover. Oh shit, look at that. A fresh slasher. Doesn't she look like, I'm kind of looking at her, doesn't she kind of look like a young Sigourney Weaver or something? I'm just kind of noticing that. It's interesting. When a group of young microbiologists head deep into the Australian wilderness to test water samples. Oh, okay. So it's in a place where they technically shouldn't be, and somebody's stalking them who is on the land, and sort of survive or be killed type of thing. It's kind of like an interesting slasher flick. It doesn't look half bad to me, man. I mean, mind you, I have sort of that 30-day subscription to Shudder, that free 30-day subscription, and I'm kind of trying to go through some things that look interesting. This one looks like one of those ones that does look pretty cool, actually. Shudder does do some pretty cool original stuff from time to time, so this one doesn't look half bad, man. I do like a good slasher. It'll look pretty good. Then they also have, the Mermaid's Curse. Her song is alluring. Her kiss is deadly. Yeah, I wouldn't be French kissing with that bitch. Oh, good lord. Not half bad cover, though. Look at that. Ooh, it's intriguing. After the discovery of an illicit affair, a journalist falls in love with a seductive, sultry, and young mermaid. Yeah, because, that shit happens all the time. Evacuation to the session. Well, that's interesting. I don't know, it doesn't look half bad. It could be a little cheap, though, depending on what they do with, like, the mermaid stuff, but there is some interesting, like, mermaid horror out there, I've noticed. If you really dive into some stuff, there's really some interesting some weird horror stuff. Like, there's a great movie that I own on Criterion called The Lure. It's a foreign film, but it's really interesting about these two mermaids who, they sort of become like lounge singers, and they lure men with their singing, and they eat them. Really fucked up shit, man. It's not bad. It's kind of like a horror take on The Little Mermaid or something. The cover, man. Cover's always good for these sort of B-movie horror stuff that hits Walmart. They sure do have good covers, man. That doesn't look that bad, man. They got that. They got The Last Beyond. One of those like Western movies. A film about death, love, rebirth. When the bank foreclosed on the family ranch, Stratton and Knightley must forge a new path and must... It doesn't seem half bad, actually. Mind you, again, I'm always picky with my Westerns. I really am. And it's not that I hate Westerns. It's just that, I've seen so many good Westerns out there that it's hard to really find ones that reach the same type of level as the ones I've seen. You know what I mean, man? And they got to be really well done. And I'm talking about like Clint Eastwood well done. These look good, but might pale in comparison to the other Westerns I watch. Again, if you're a Western fan, it doesn't look that bad, though. Then they've got this Ultraman double feature on Blu-ray. They have Ultraman X the movie and Ultraman Ginja. Okay, interesting. I've heard of Ultraman, but mind you, I've never seen any of the Ultraman stuff. And I know it's sort of a really big deal for a lot of people. A lot of people really love Ultraman. You guys got to tell me what's like the fascination with Ultraman, dude. Is it like something that I'm missing out on? I mean, definitely let me know. I like the suit and everything. The suit looks pretty cool, though. Trying the movie. Okay. I don't know, but let me know if it's worth it, guys. They got that. They also got Ancestral World. In a land of demons and gods, a prince must become a hero. Duh, duh, duh. Look at that with a big ass fucking whatever the fuck that is, a dragon, and like the knives and sword and sorcery, and you get the deal, guys. A land where demons and gods are at war with one another. It's kind of like trying to take a page off of like Game of Thrones or some shit, right? But like Game of Thrones is, well, and I don't love Game of Thrones, but I know Game of Thrones is so good to a lot of people that to try to copy Game of Thrones is kind of a gamble. But they've been doing these sort of like sword and sorcery type of movies for a long time, way before Game of Thrones even happened. So I don't know. The special effects have to be good, man. You can do a low budget sort of sword and sorcery type of thing. Like I really love a movie like Crawl. But Crawl is fun, dude. Crawl's not like the most like ultra serious sword and sorcery thing you've ever seen in your life, but it doesn't look half bad. Depends. It looks good. But can it match up to Crawl? Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it, guys. Highly doubt that one for sure. And then we're over in this section over here, and I showed you last week that they got in some like Screen Factory and Shout Factory, and it looks like they actually got more in. And they got some like retro title stuff in as well. They got the Blu-ray digital of Back to the Future, the trilogy, which actually is really cool, man. That's a really great cover, dude. I have a different edition of the trilogy. I don't have this edition or not. This one looks good. The edition that I have, like, the discs are really hard to get out of the case, man. Like you almost crack the disc getting them out. Hopefully this one looks a bit better, actually. Like, they're always putting out editions of Back to the Future, and I can see why. I mean, it's fucking classic, dude. I got that. Out there, Shining, E.T., fantastic. Willow, Pacino, Scarface, a John Hughes yearbook collection, which is Weird Science, 16 Candles, and The Breakfast Club. Now, Josh Gad does that Reunited Apart thing, and I've been watching it. And he recently did one for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I think that's the last one he's doing. And at the end of that episode, he ended up actually doing a sort of tribute to John Hughes. And I gotta tell you guys, even if you don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or even if you don't like Josh Gad, watch the end of that video, because the tribute that they do for John Hughes is amazing. And John Hughes, watching that, I got so nostalgic for John Hughes, dude. His movies are so goddamn classic and well made. They're really well done, dude. God. All great films, man. Fantastic. At that, they got Big Trouble in Little China that I showed you last time. They got Witches of Eastwick, which Witches of Eastwick is a great movie, man. I remember watching this on VHS back in the day. This thing is awesome, dude. I think all the females do a great job here. Jack Nicholson is awesome in this role. He's really fantastic. He's great, dude. God. Man, blast from the past, dude. If you've never seen Witches of Eastwick, definitely do it. This is a fun film. It's fun, and Jack Nicholson plays a great, like, devil character, man. We always think of, like, other characters like Pacino or De Niro doing the devil or something like that. Dude, Nicholson playing the devil. Give this one a look, dude. It's great, man. Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, another John Hughes film classic. I love this. Those aren't pillows. Great. Oh, this is such a great movie, dude. God, I missed the fuck out of John Candy. Ah, God. So great, man. So great. That, Full Metal Jacket, Better Off Dead, which I love Better Off Dead. Oh my God, Better Off Dead. That's a blast from the past, dude. So good. Oh man. God, this is one of the movies that I fell in love with John Cusack on, dude. Like watching Better Off Dead and One Crazy Summer, stuff like that. I fell in love with him, dude. The Future, Top Gun, Family Matters, Pretty in Pink, The Wedding Singer. Really, really great movie. And you want to know what? Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, like, they are, to me, one of the last best sort of on-screen couples. And I really do believe that, because the chemistry that they have together is great. The movies that they've done together, you can argue whether they're good or bad movies, but I think the chemistry that they have is really fantastic, man. And I've loved everything that they've been in together. I hope that they do more in the future, though. Blues Brothers, great fucking movie. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, oh, nice. God. Man, what a great movie, dude. I used to watch, like, Pee-wee's Playhouse years and years and years ago, and this is a blast, dude. This, and even the other one, I think, Pee-wee's, like, Circus or Big Top or something like that. That's a really fun one, too, but not many people really talk about that one compared to this one. This one gets more love. I can see why, but I think both are really good, actually. Paul Rubens is always great as Pee Wee Herman, man. I know he did that like Netflix movie as Pee Wee, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet. I gotta watch that, man. They also have Major League, which is great. Love Major League. I have this on DVD, but I've never picked it up on Blu-ray before. I might have to pick this up. Great, God. So great, man. I own the sequels, and I love the sequels, but the first one will always have a place in my heart. And this is like one of the best quintessential baseball movies of all time. Like, okay, it's not as heartfelt as like Field of Dreams or anything like that, or like The Natural, but like Major League is just a fun baseball movie, dude. Fantastic. They got Terms of Endearment. Holy shit. God, Terms of Endearment. One of my mother's favorite movies, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the movies that I cried like a baby, man. I remember seeing this on VHS years and years and years ago, and dude, I'm sobbing, man. Deborah Winger does a great job. Shirley MacLaine. Jack Nicholson is fun in this movie as well. This is a great one. If you're looking for a good tear-jerker, Terms of Endearment, dude. That's a good one. Lost Boys of classic. Love Lost Boys. Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. Big Easy. Shit, I hadn't seen this one in a long time. Dennis Quaid and Ellen Barkin. Shit. Very lusty. Ooh. It's real. I haven't seen this one in a long time. I remember it being really good, though, man. But it has been a long time, dude. God. I remember their chemistry being really good. And there was a time back in the day, I don't know whether you guys remember it or not, if you're old enough to remember it, but Ellen Barkin was like the hottest woman on screen. She was like electrifying. You couldn't take her eyes off her. And then eventually she, like, you know, slightly went downhill with the roles and everything, but there was a time where she was like the hot commodity, dude. This is a really good one. God, I forgot about that one. They have Lean on Me, which is a really great one with Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman plays a real son of a bitch in this. But I gotta admit to you guys, he's so good in this role of this sort of principal who's trying to change the school for the better, and it's a great film. This is another one I first found on VHS. It was part of like the tapes that my mother and father had, and I loved it, dude. One of the first times I ever got exposed to Morgan Freeman. Fantastic flick, dude. Got that. They got Officer and a Gentleman, of course, another classic with Deborah Winger and Richard Gere. Another one of my mother's favorites, actually. She really loves this one. And you know, I never outright met Richard Gere, but like I was at a grocery store like I think last year or something, and you know, I'm getting deli, and the woman behind the counter at the deli is like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "What? Do you not have my turkey or something?" And she's like, "No, like Richard Gere is over there," and I'm like, "What? Get the fuck out of here!" And she's like, "Yeah." And so I look over and she says, "Well, that's Richard Gere," and I kind of look at him. I'm like, that don't look like Richard Gere to me. And she's like, no, it is. So I go up close and I'm like, yeah, that's Richard Gere, dude. He was getting like groceries with his father or something, and I kind of wanted to go up to Richard Gere, but I was like too much of a chicken shit. But also, he's like getting groceries with his father. I'm like, I don't want to bother the dude. But I actually saw Richard Gere up close and personal, man. Not that impressive, but I mean, was shopping for groceries. Come on, man. Then they've got The Road Warrior and Mad Max. Nice set. They got Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Jesus Christ. God, it's been so fucking long since I've ever seen Voltron. Fuck. God, I used to watch Voltron like religiously back in the day when I was a kid, dude, but that was so long ago. It's been literally decades and decades since I've seen Voltron. Shit. Dude, is Voltron like still on? I think Voltron must still be on or something. 72 epic episodes. Fuck. That is a blast from the past. Fuck, dude. I had some good times watching Voltron. Shit. Some Kind of Wonderful as well. This is a really good one too. Not many people talk about this one, but it is really good. And this one is actually written by John Hughes. It's not directed by him, but now I would like to say this is the first time I ever saw Eric Stoltz, but actually that would actually be The Fly too. But he's great in this. Leah Thompson is great in this as well. Mary Stuart Masterson, she was fantastic in this. And whatever happened to her, dude? She like fell off the radar. God, blast from the past on that one. And speaking of more Scream Factory love, they also have Escape from New York. Very nice. They are getting in more Scream Factory. Very cool. Look at this, man. Call Me Snake. Great. Escape from New York is fucking classic. I love Escape from New York. Really great movie, dude. Classic Carpenter. This is a great one. It's a great one. They got an old school DVD for Harlem Nights. God. This is a blast from the past, too. I hadn't seen this one in a long ass time. Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor. This is comedy gold, dude. If you guys have never seen this movie, watch it, because I remember watching this one on VHS as well back in the day. There's a really great scene where Eddie Murphy is like getting into a fight with this chick, and it's the funniest shit you've ever seen in your life. Richard Pryor is hilarious here. There's so many wonderful actors in this piece, dude. God, this is another blast from the past. I wish this one would get a special edition as well. Shit. When Harry Met Sally, some Shelf Select Love, they got that. They got the Blu-ray of American Werewolf in London, and this is the restored edition. I don't own this, but my friend John does. He says the picture quality on here is really good. I actually own the Arrow edition, but he says that this is a great one to get if you're not looking to pay a lot of money for it. Great movie. This is one of the best werewolf films of all time. The werewolf transformation in here is the best werewolf transformation ever put on film, and I dare you guys to try to counter that. I mean, I guess you could say The Howling, but American Werewolf in London is classic, man. This is great. Really fantastic movie. It's a great like horror comedy, and I know some guys who watch the channel kind of don't like horror comedy, but dude, American Werewolf in London, it's hard to deny how good this one is, man. A random 6th and final season of Chips. Oh, they actually have the collector's edition of Starman. Very nice. Now, I don't own this, and I have to look into owning this. Now, I own, like, pretty much all of the Carpenter stuff that Scream Factory has done, but I've never owned Starman. Not that I hate Starman, but, like, when I think of Carpenter, I think, like, horror or action, and Starman doesn't really come to mind. However, I remember loving the movie. Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen is great. And I like this sort of love story with this human and this alien that's sort of embodying this human being. Like, it's a good film. And I think if you get outside of like your comfort zone of Carpenter, give this one a look, man. It's actually not bad. Usually it comes with a slip cover. I'm gonna try to see if I can find it with a slip one day, but if I can't, $12.96 is a great price. Full House. Shit, look at that. That's old school, man. Shit. And the Olsen twins. See, man. See what they look like now. Go online, dude, because they don't look like that baby face. They look like a mummy, dude. Trust me. Green Mile, Flashdance. Ooh, the collector's edition of Cobra. There you go, Cobra. You know? Crime is a disease. Meet the cure. Great. My friend John, man, this is one of his favorite Stallone flicks of all time, dude. And I gotta admit, man, this is great fun Stallone. It's heavy action, fun Stallone, man. And I'm surprised they never made a sequel to Cobra. It was so good, dude. And I would have loved to see him play the character again. Oh, man. Lieutenant Cobretti. Oh, man. So good. So fucking good, dude. Man. Back in the day when Stallone was like this macho action guy. I guess he was still in the 90s and the 2000s. But the 80s was him, man, for sure. Speaking of more Stallone, they have Lockup. Now, I own the 4K of this, but they do have the Blu-ray here. This is another really great Stallone flick that nobody ever talks about. This is a great, like, prison movie. And the bad guy here, the warden, played by Donald Sutherland, is such a mean son of a bitch, but he is so good in this role, dude. This is a really solid movie. Never seen this one. Give that one a go. The Vacation movies. Brewster's Millions. Oh my God. Now, I picked this up earlier in the year during the pickups, and this is a great movie. Richard Pryor, great in here. John Candy, great. It's a funny movie. It's really well made. I like the idea of having to spend $30 million in 30 days, and what would you do with that money, and the kind of hilarity that goes with that. Great premise, dude. And I kind of have a feeling this could get remade years from now. Just the idea of like what you would spend it on in the 80s versus what you would spend it on now would be really interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing it, though, if they did it right. This is a really great one, man. There's Fast Times at Ridgemont, classic, no denying that. They also have, the collector's edition of Roadhouse, baby. Look at that. Patrick Swayze, looking all suave and cool. That badass motherfucker. Look at that, dude. Roadhouse is so great, dude. And there are so many guys, and I'll put myself in there. When I saw Roadhouse, I wanted to be Patrick Swayze, dude. I wanted to be that guy. Like, that's the dude I wanted to be, man. I'm like, he's cool, he's calm, he's collective, he doesn't want to beat somebody's ass, but if he's got to do it, dude, he's got to do it, and he's going to kick their ass. He's going to take out the trash. Of course, I could never live up to Swayze, but hell, who can? So great. I heard this is a really good edition, and I don't have it, but I might have to pick this one up. And when they also have Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, great fucking movie. Another really great one. Now, they recently remade this last year, the movie The Hustle. And, okay, that movie's dog shit. I'm not gonna lie, man, that movie's pure crap. But this movie is really fun, and it's devious, and it's sarcastic, and it's tongue-in-cheek, and Michael Caine and Steve Martin are great together. One smart and one playing this sort of idiot role. Really well done, man. I really love this one a lot. If you haven't watched it, definitely give that one a look. So good, dude. Then they also got another Shout Select one, Someone to Watch Over Me, with Tom Berenger and Mimi Rogers, I think it is. I've never heard of this one. I know this came out from them, but if you guys know anything about this, let me know. If you ever see me again, you never saw me before. Well, that's interesting. Shit. No, I don't think I've heard of this one before. A sunny New York Florida and a down-to-earth sea. Kind of looks like a interesting sort of erotic thriller. Directed by Ridley Scott. No shit. I have to give this one a look, man. I want to watch Over Me. That one looks interesting. Of course, Firestarter that I showed you last time. Crocodile Dundee, classic. 48 Hours, amazing. Great team-up movie. Love this flick today. You could remake it, but I guess they kind of did in a way with doing, like, the Rush Hour flicks, but, like, I enjoy 48 Hours. It's interesting because they have this cover here, and then they have this cover, so it's like two different covers. I actually kind of like this cover here a little bit more. Then they also have, of course, they have Tango and Cash. They got to. This is one of the best cop movies, like team-up movies I've ever seen, dude. Stallone and Kurt Russell are absolutely fantastic here. I love their banter together, the witty dialogue, the action. So good, dude. So good. I'm surprised this has not gotten like a collector's edition or a special edition yet, dude. Like, this is a movie that's like on my bucket list of like a movie to get, dude. Eventually, like one of those like great collector releases. Let's hope, dude. So good. God, if you've never checked this one out, this is another like Stallone and Russell like staple that you have to watch, man. And one more thing I'm seeing here is this sort of DVD that really stuck out to me, man. Tell Me a Story This is No Fairy Tale. Season 1. I have never heard of this goddamn thing. But it was staring me right in the face. I'm looking at this cover and it looks really cool with sort of the like devious looking pigs on there. From the executive producer of The Vampire Diaries. What is this about? From creator and executive producer Kevin Williamson. Oh, from Scream and everything, yeah. Comes Tony, which takes the world's most beloved fairy tales and reimagines them as a dark and twisted psychological. Really? Set in modern day New York City, the first season, the Three Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, and Hansel and Gretel. It's a subversive tale of love, loss, greed, revenge, and murder. That sounds really twisted and really interesting, dude. So they're taking these sort of like cautionary fairy tales and sort of spinning them into like very dark and horrific tales. That's really interesting, dude. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've never heard of this show, dude. I never have. Now, mind you, I barely watch like any like television at all, so this obviously passed me by easily. But I don't know, have you guys heard of this one? Tell me a story. Like, this looks really intriguing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like the idea of like what kind of like dark and twisted horror tale could you do with Little Pigs, Little Red Riding Hood, and Hansel and Gretel? It's got to be really fascinating, dude. I got to tell you, this has me really intrigued. I got to look into this one, but if you guys can tell me more about this, definitely let me know. Tell me a story. It looks really fascinating, dude. Wow. Interesting. And the cover, like, I was just going by, and the cover really had me, man. Looks really cool, actually. I'm definitely going to be looking into this one. If you guys know anything about it, let me know. That looks really cool, dude. Other than that, guys, there was a lot to show off here. There was so much stuff to show off. A lot of really great media to check out here. Some really cool old nostalgic stuff. Scream Factory, Shout Select. Some indie titles as well. Boy, this was a good trip to come to for sure, man. This Walmart always surprises me, and this time is no exception. Really great, guys. Not bad. Let's head out. In all honesty, guys, this is why I come to this Walmart, dude, because seriously, you can find some really weird and bizarre and out there titles that I don't think I could find anywhere else other than this goddamn store, dude. I'm serious, man. Like some really weird B-movie, over-the-top, ridiculous horror stuff, kids' weird adventure movies, you know, some old school classics from like the 80s and the 70s, and they even have like Scream Factory and Shout Factory as well. I mean, this one does pretty well with its stock. I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, I wish every Walmart was like this, but you know, boy, that's wishful thinking. I mean, that being said, there's a lot of variety here, and even though it might seem like a slow release week at times, when you come to a place like this, you can see some really cool stuff that makes you remember that there's still stuff coming out. It might not be big release stuff, but stuff still worth giving a chance to, man. So definitely do it. Not half bad. Some really interesting and bizarre titles to look into for sure, man. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's head to the next location. All right, everybody. We are at one last location. Now, last week, I started down the path of going back into Best Buy, as you guys saw. And I went into a Best Buy that I don't normally go into. And I thought, it doesn't really feel like home, man. But I decided this week, it's time to go back home. And that is none other than going to, the trusty Best Buy that I normally go to every single week. Well, before this whole coronavirus and pandemic stuff happened, I was always going to this Best Buy all the time. Now, mind you, this has been closed for a really long time, just like many, many Best Buys have. I don't know what we're going to find here, if anything. They might not have a lot of stock to show off or anything, but we're going to give it a go. Damn glad to be back in a familiar place. So let's go back in and see what we can find at the good old Beast. All right, guys, we're in at Best Buy, and oh boy, yeah, it's pretty rough here, man. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I mean, I am seeing they do have that 20th anniversary edition Steelbook of Gladiator that I showed off last week. They do have the Braveheart one as well, and that trusty Friday the 13th Steelbook that you guys have told me you really love the look of this Steelbook. And I gotta admit, I love the look of it too, dude. It looks great. I just don't know whether I want to invest in buying this. And the reason why is because I'm hearing Scream Factory is going to do a box set. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I could buy it, but if I buy it and then there's like a great like limited edition set by Scream Factory, I'm gonna be like, well, why the fuck did I buy this? And then I'm kind of like, I'll have like I have like a DVD box set of Friday the 13th. I have like that limited edition tin set. Well, if I get the Scream Factory edition, if that comes out, then I'll have that edition, and then this. I'm like, I mean, I love Friday the 13th, but I don't need all of those editions. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't want that, again, it's a really great Steelbook, dude. So I can't blame you guys for wanting it. Just for me, I'm gonna hold off, dude. They got that. Of course, they have the Blu-ray DVD digital of The Hunt here. And the only other thing I'm seeing is they have the 4K Blu-ray digital limited edition collectible Steelbook of Onward for $34.99. Now, I don't think we actually saw this because when Onward came out, Best Buy was still closed. So we're actually seeing this for the first time, man. And not a bad Steelbook, actually. I really like this one a lot. I like with sort of the jeans and the car and with the staff. It actually looks really clever. I like that quite a bit, man. It looks nice, dude. Now, I know I said it when it came out, and I'll say it again. This movie is pure animated Disney perfection. And I can't say that about a lot of Disney stuff because, to be honest with you guys, you know, Disney is such a big conglomerate now that a lot of times the movies that they make are just flat out like fluff, and it's just for the kids and that's it. But this movie is so much more than that, dude. I mean, I literally cried when I saw this movie. It brought up memories of my dad, which I still get teary-eyed to this day. This movie brought those up and just, God, made me weep. The characters are really great here. The animation is beautiful. It's a really touching story. It doesn't matter whether you get the physical or stream it on Disney Plus. You just need to watch the movie, guys, and it's absolutely amazing. And if you do get the physical, then this is a really great one. Honestly, I think this is pretty much sold out most places. So if you do get this, guys, I don't think there's many places to get this anymore. So if you see it around and you really love the movie, definitely get up on it for sure, man. Other than that, Superman Red Sun, but most of that is really empty. Jumanji, Knives Out, Grudge, Fantasy Island, Sonic, but for the most part, it is definitely very much empty, guys. Yeah, I have a feeling everywhere in the store is going to be empty, but we'll definitely give it a look. I knew it was going to be a little bit of a ghost town, but we'll see what else we can find. All right, guys, we are over at this section of Best Buy. Oh my God, bro, look at this. Like, they are like mega out of stuff, man. Man, this place is like a ghost town, dude. Damn. I mean, the only thing I guess I'm seeing, I mean, they got Sniper Assassin's Edge on Blu-ray digital for $16.99. They got that Harley Quinn first season, Shazam, Magic and Monsters. They got The Impractical Jokers, the movie. They got this other movie here on Blu-ray called A Soldier's Revenge. Vengeance comes at a cost, with Neil Bledsoe, Val Kilmer, really, shit. Soldier's Revenge. I really like Val Kilmer, man, and I hope that guy makes a comeback, dude, because I know he's gonna be in the new Top Gun movie, which I'm definitely interested in checking that one out. But I think he was dealing with, like, I don't know whether it was lung cancer or something, but he was dealing with something that really messed up his voice and really, like, ruined his vocal cords, and it really sucks, dude. It really does, man. I still love Val Kilmer to this day. I have really good memories of the guy, and he's just dealt with such hard times in his life that I really hope that the guy gets back on his feet again. I mean, he beat something like cancer, for Christ's sake. Like, he's already a winner in my book, but you know, I'd love to see him do more good stuff and really get back on his feet. So, you know, I don't know. He might be good in this. I mean, but I remember seeing him in a movie like a couple years back called Snowman, and I was like, that movie's not so hot. And you know, not really his fault. It's not his fault about it. You know, he had issues with his cancer, but I just sort of miss the old days of Val Kilmer, and I hope that now, hopefully, that he's beaten cancer, he can sort of come back in a big bad way. I'm kind of hoping that. Doesn't look that bad though. Other than that, I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, there's a lot of the same similar stuff here. Nothing's really changed all that much. They have those Bond steel books. They have all those. They still have some of the Marvel Best Buy stuff. The Thor one for $34.99. That sure as shit ain't gonna sell. They have that. They have the current war. Some of the other ones, they have Come to Daddy and Joker, Hunt for Red October. I mean, they have some stuff, but they're still out of so much stuff, man. God, I really feel bad for them, because, you know, it's not their fault. You know, the coronavirus just hits, and, you know, you're kind of blindsided by it. I hope they get back to being the Best Buy that I know and love, but it may take a while, guys. But yeah, I knew I was walking into a little bit of a mess, and I knew that it was going to be bad. Not this bad, but this is, hey, you know what? I still support Best Buy regardless, man, and hopefully they can get back to where they used to be. Dude, it is like time stopped here at this Best Buy, man. Like, literally, I mean, as I've shown you guys, there's like nothing to really show off. It's the same stuff that we've seen before, but not only that, but it's like they haven't gotten any new stock in. I kind of knew they weren't, because like they're just starting to slightly open back up again, and so it's gonna take time before they really get going again. But it's almost like they just shut down right in the middle of like March and everything. Like, they still have the standee for Jumanji: The Next Level. They still have it up, dude. It never got put down. So, like, it's like the same stuff here. And it's just like completely, it's almost like I like time travel, like from Back to the Future, like to the past in March, and it's just like frozen time. It's really nuts, dude. Like I said, man, look at this. It's all empty, bro. It's all empty, man. I mean, yeah, there's still stuff here, but it's like nothing really new to show off. No new stock of anything, and you only saw that one thing, which was the Onward Steelbook, and that's cool. You know, hadn't seen that before, but damn, dude. That really sucks. But I wanted to come in here and check it out. I mean, I love this Best Buy. I love the people in here. I think they're some of the most friendly people that I've met in any retail store. And I love this place. Great variety, but I hope they get back on their feet again really soon. It's going to take them a while. Look, this coronavirus has been hitting every business hard. Big, small, doesn't matter, man. So hopefully they're going to come back in, but damn, dude. This is really low stock indeed. But I wanted to come in here and check it out. It did. Hopefully from now on we're gonna see a little bit better every single week. Let's hope, man. Well, it was worth it to at least see what we're dealing with, at least here in my state. I don't know about you guys, but let's hope Best Buy gets to being the beast once again. Let's get out of here. All right, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And this was kind of really interesting this week, wasn't it? I mean, I went into that first Walmart thinking, oh, God, we're not going to see anything. And then I was pleasantly surprised. Typical Target, great, actually phenomenal second Walmart. And then Best Buy. Oh boy. Look, I feel really bad for Best Buy. I really honestly do. And, I was talking to one of the employees at the Best Buy today, and he was saying to me, well, there's not much physical media coming out anyways, so, there's not really much that we have to stock. And I kind of looked at him really puzzled and kind of confused because I'm like, well, there is stuff coming out. Obviously there's a lot of indie titles and, you don't have the big budget releases, but there is stuff coming out. And then I sort of realized that, well, wait, I mean, I specialize in this. I look at the movie releases that are coming out every single week. I go on Blu-ray.com and I'm always looking at the new physical media and things that are coming out and things that are being announced. You guys are as well, other YouTubers. So I realize that some of these people don't travel in the same circles that I do and other people do. So I understand that. But at the same time, look, I'm also humbled by seeing things like the second Walmart and seeing them bring in Shout Factory and, Shout Select titles. And it really humbles me because I think some of these stores, like the second Walmart, is realizing that, look, we're short on physical media. I mean, there's no lie here. We're very short, and we need to supply our shelves, and we need to supplement something that we would have had otherwise. And why not get stuff and extra stock from these boutique labels? And it helps out places like Screen Factory to get that extra exposure that they might not have otherwise. I remember there was like some sort of podcast or something that the guys who run Screen Factory did a long time back, and they said, look, if we could only get our stock in the Targets of the world, in the Walmarts, and the Best Buys, then we would have more exposure and people would know about these releases and we'd get more sales from it. And so I'm always hoping that people who are checking out the physical media kind of go and look at, oh, that's interesting, and sort of pick it up and realize there's a great low price and they're going to buy it. And I'm hoping that seeing things like that you may see other things, hoping maybe Severin or Vinegar Syndrome. God, wouldn't that be great? That would be awesome. I mean, you have things like the Criterion sale that happens, and that gets the word out on Criterion. And I think some of these other labels do get left in the dust a little bit. And I think now we're entering into a time with physical media, especially with Best Buy really coming back into the picture again, where there's a narrative that we can shape and we can bring back physical media and these unique releases that these companies put out and really prop them up in a time when there's not much stock to be put out, but we can prop up these other labels and these other releases and really give some of these titles a voice that might not have had it otherwise. So I look at Best Buy and I see an opportunity for them to really go out of their way to put out some unique stuff. They used to do it before this whole coronavirus thing happened, and I think once they're able to get more stock in, once they're able to sort of breathe back in some life into their stores again, I think we're going to see some unique stuff. It's just going to take time, guys. That's the honest to God truth. It's going to take time, dude. But I guess it all depends, man. And it also all depends on the movie theaters as well. Look, I mean, if you guys really think about it, what happens in the fall if there's, God forbid, a second wave? I don't want there to be a second wave. Geez, we're not even over the first wave yet. But, I mean, what happens then? Well, movie theaters have to shut down again, and all these stores have to close, and we're right back where we started. And I think to take a second hit like that, does that mean, I said it earlier, does that mean that these movies, do we say, do we say as consumers to these studios, do we say, well, fuck it, just put the movie out on physical, man, and just go for it? I mean, we're gonna buy it if we like the movie. I mean, I remember having a conversation with one of my friends about Black Widow, and we were talking about the movie, and he's like, why don't they just put the movie out on physical? I mean, it's a Marvel movie. People are gonna want to see it. They're gonna want to buy it. If the disc is like $20 or something, people go out of their way to buy it. It's gonna make money. You put it on streaming. You do it on. There's gonna be money there that they're gonna make, and I think there's a level of frustration now with the movie community where I think they realize, like, okay, we're waiting for all these movies. Let's just put the fuckers out, man. And so if there is a second wave and movie theaters have to close again, I think that discussion is going to be even louder than it was now, because you've seen a lot of movies skip the theaters and hit streaming and physical, and that's gonna I think the narrative is going to change. If we have another big wave and movie theaters will have to close again, that is going to be a whole nother discussion about physical that we're going to have. I'm hoping. I love physical, but I want movies to stay in the theaters at the same time. It's going to be a very interesting discussion, going into the fall and winter, of what's really going to go on and how physical can really support the movie companies out, and whether they should just take the gamble to put it out on that. I'm interested to see where that discussion goes. I really do, guys. But I mean, regardless, there was some interesting stuff that came out this week. A lot of weird indie stuff for sure, man. I hope you picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, well, I only got one package in the mail, guys, and that is from Mondo Macabro right there. Yes, Mondo Macabro. I love ordering from these guys. Now, mind you, I pre-ordered this, I believe, like last month or the month before that. And this is a limited edition title that they usually do. Most of their titles are limited editions. I believe this one got sold out, or close to it. And it's this, like, Japanese horror film that got released, I believe, in 1999. Something I had never heard of before. And I was looking into the movie, and I've heard a lot of really good things about it. And I'm like, wow, okay. And I give Mondo Macabro a lot of credit, man, because like a lot of these companies, they put out these titles where I just kind of like cock my head like a dog. And I'm like, I've never heard of these things, man. And Mondo Macabro has been a really great company where, like, 99% of the time, I blind buy with them and I take a gamble, and the gamble normally pays off. And so, I like some weird horror flicks from time to time, some weird stuff overseas, and the Japanese folk have made some really interesting and weird horror stuff. So I'm interested to see where I go down the rabbit hole with this one, guys. But damn glad to get another one from Mondo Macabro. And you guys will not get to find out exactly what I picked up until my Blu-ray Pickles video, which will hit next month. It will show off all the titles that I got for the month of June. And June ended up being a really solid month, dude. At first, when I was looking at the releases, I was like, oh, man, like, I don't know if this is really gonna, like, rival May, because May was so good for pickups, but this is almost rivaling it, man. I mean, some really good collectors, limited editions, some really bizarro titles, some stuff from some cool sales that I picked up, retro titles, a lot of really great stuff. I pick up some really unique stuff, guys, and June will definitely be no exception. So definitely stay tuned to that video as well, guys. And before I let you guys go, as I always kind of do from time to time, I always look on certain news articles and things talking about physical media and what's the latest sort of discussions that are going on, right? And I found this article from the Digital Bits about sort of the 4K format and where home entertainment could be going. And it's a really interesting article, man. And I'll kind of just talk about a few things in here and sort of read off some of this stuff. It's a really fantastic article. Go on Digital Bits to look at it. But they say DVD turned out to be very transformational. High-definition movie discs soon followed after a brief format war resulting in the adoption of Blu-ray discs, and now the discerning home theater enthusiasts have embraced an even higher quality movie experience on 4K. But there remains a problem with this picture. While DVD quickly became the most successful home entertainment format of all time, each successive movie disc format has captured a smaller share of the market. Only about 40% of DVD fans eventually embrace Blu-ray. And less than 10% of Blu-ray fans have likewise upgraded to 4K. There is a lot of reasons for this. Cost, budget strains by multiple recessions, less inclination by younger consumers towards ownership, the advent of digital streaming, and sheer market saturation. How many times is a person willing to rebuy the same title in many formats? But whatever the reason, the result is clear: movie discs are on the decline. There's now just one major replicator of physical media in all of North America, down from 6 at the height of DVD. The enthusiast's favorite player manufacturer Oppo Digital has abandoned the market, so too has Samsung, once a major player in the space. The indie movie distributor Twilight Time is no more. And they certainly won't be the last such company to fold in the years ahead. And prior to the recent pandemic, physical media disc sales had dropped by double-digit percentages 3 years in a row. There is a problem for fans of movies on physical 4K Ultra HD in particular. It means that there are many film enthusiasts would love to buy that will never be available on 4K discs. Don't believe me? They actually name a lot of ones. Multiple services now have 4K digital versions of Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die Hard, The Silence of the Lambs, Rocky, Princess Bride, Edge of Tomorrow, Looper, Red Heat, Easy Rider, Pretty in Pink, Deep Impact, Nashville, Escape from LA, The Day the Earth Stood Still, The Hurt Locker, The Running Man, The Beverly Hills Cop movies, The Guns of Navarone, Dirty Dancing. They name a ton of them, guys. None of these are, as yet, available on disc in the US. That's just a quick survey. More such titles are added every day. And based upon the trends I've just described, there's no reason to believe the situation is going to improve going forward. So he talks about all this stuff, right, guys? He talks about all of how the decline is happening and how 4K has really not been embraced by fans as much as it should. And that Blu-ray has been embraced more, but of course that was never as big as DVD. And the problem here, and look, I don't mean to be doom and gloom to you guys. I honestly don't. But I, at the same time, have to be real with you guys, too. I have to be real and be honest and tell you guys that, look, there's just no getting around the fact that physical has declined. And that we've seen a rise because of this pandemic, because of, movie theaters being closed, and of how physical media became important because of entertainment value. But, going into Best Buy and going into these stores and still seeing 4K, at times 4K has still went down in price. But there's a lot of times when 4K is still really skyrocketing in price and nobody is really going out of their way to buy it outside of the major new releases that they may be interested in checking out. this becomes an issue. And I think the other issue has become, and you guys know this really well, from VHS to DVD, there were so many movies on VHS that never got transferred over to DVD. Still to this day, there is a lot of movies on VHS that have never even gotten transferred over to DVD. Then you go from DVD to Blu-ray, and there's so many movies that is on DVD that never got transferred over to Blu-ray. Still to this day. And now Blu-ray over to 4K, that number has lessened even more. I guess what I'm saying is that as physical media lovers, we have to be really careful about getting to the next best thing. Because I've heard rumors about, 8K is on the way, and boy, that's the next thing we got to embrace. And I think to myself, well, hold on a second. We haven't even fully embraced 4K, and there's a lot of people that haven't even yet started down the road of Blu-ray. And boy, I hate to say that, but that's the truth. And so I'm like, let's slow down the brakes here. Let's not even get to 8K yet. Because we gotta promote these other things before we ever get to the next format. Because we're pumping out these things constantly. And at a certain point, I think we're flooding the market with discs that are not selling. We're continuing to promote new formats when the other formats are still in their mature stages and they still have a lot to offer. And we have to figure out the priorities. Because I think with this pandemic, as I said earlier, there's an opportunity here to really bring physical media to the forefront. I've been saying it for weeks now, and it really is true. And people have been giving it more attention, been buying more players and looking at the discs, and I think the prices have started to look really good to people. And I think we have to see where is the opportunities that we can really make physical media succeed. And is it 4K? And that's the real question that I have here. Is 4K the format that is going to give physical media back the supremacy that it needs? I don't know. Because there's not a lot of the market that's really embraced 4K to really give it that boost that DVD had. And even Blu-ray, to be honest with you. I think that there's a lot of people out there who love the format, love physical media, and will always pick it over streaming. But I think right now there's a little bit of an identity crisis that we have. Streaming is streaming. There's not, like multiple different streaming things. Streaming is streaming. And we need to, as physical media lovers, start to figure out what avenue do we go down to? Do we pick Blu-ray? Do we pick 4K? I mean, because, again, I showed off that article maybe a couple weeks back about 88 Films, about how they're not going to produce 4K discs because it's just too much money and they don't want to invest in the 4K format when their discs might not sell that much to make it worth their while. And we're asking now, I've been on the forums on Blu-ray.com, and everybody's like, well, I want these boutique labels to all go 4K. And I'm like, I don't know if you can fully trust it. There are so many movies that I think to myself, I'm like, I don't know if some of these movies would sell as good on 4K. Do we really need them on 4K? Is Blu-ray fine? We have to look at the ups and downs of all this, and we have to figure out what we're going to do to keep physical media alive. Do we go all in on 4K, or do we pump the brakes? Because, like I said, we're moving really fast with physical media. We really are, because, you start hearing 8K, and you start hearing stuff like that, and it's like, wow, it all sounds great, right? Oh my God, 8K. Whoa, until you realize that we're just in the infancy of 4K, and technically we're kind of in the early teenage years of Blu-ray. It hasn't fully even went through puberty yet. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that there's an opportunity here to really go further with physical media and really reshape the narrative. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to pick a lane and stick with it. And there's so many opinions out there, I just don't know if that's possible. But I want it to be. I want it to be possible, and I want physical media to stay around a long time. But when we're introducing so much stuff into the marketplace and still having so much DVDs and Blu-rays out there in the world, are we really picking the right formats, or are we really doing the right thing here? I really want to know your guys' opinion on this. Definitely let me know about it. I think it's really fascinating, man. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos I do. Check out the movie hunting videos, the theatrical movie reviews I do with my friends, the Blu-ray pickup videos, and much, much more. If you're a lover of movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank you guys so much for your love, your support, for watching the videos, going out of your day, your busy lives to watch what I have to say. I really appreciate it, and it humbles me in a big bad way, guys. So thank you so much for subscribing and being part of the Film Fan Nation. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you love how I talk about movies and physical media, definitely hit subscribe and keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Film Fan 108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, guys. And I will see you back next week for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody, and happy hunting.